Hey, this is Gen X Amplified, episode number 30, and today this is another solo episode, and I'm going to give a little pep talk. That's right. I want to talk about why you need to understand that greatness, that being great, that being successful will not, does not, and should not come overnight. And while you need to prepare, you need to take action, you need to execute, and you need to be patient in order to be successful. So, are you ready? Let's do it. So go out there, understand that you are unique. Understand that you do have passions. Understand that you do have experiences in life, that you have opportunities, that you have a story to tell.
Welcome to Gen X Amplified, where we bring you inspirational and entertaining conversations with successful Gen X leaders and entrepreneurs.
This is the show created just for you. The powerful generation between the boomers and millennials to help you amplify your story,
Maximize your impact,
and become Gen Exceptional in business and in life.
Now, here's your host, Adrian Porter.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Amplified, the podcast dedicated to the awesome generation of leaders and game changers between the millennials and the boomers. And as our mission here is to empower and inspire you who are in the prime power phase of your lives to maximize your impact as leaders in business and in life, especially in this new digital marketplace. First, I want to thank you for listening into the show. Thank you for your download. Thank you for subscribing. And if you have not subscribed yet to Gen X Amplified, please do so over at iTunes for you Apple users, Mac users, or Stitcher Radio. Also, if you have been enjoying the show and if you've gotten some value from it, please, I would appreciate you go over, give us a rating and review on iTunes. It will help us spread the word about the show, empower and inspire more people. But again, thank you for listening in. And today is going to be another solo episode. And also, I want to say that this is probably going to be a somewhat shorter episode, but it's going to be a little different because I want to focus on something that's been weighing on my mind, and I want to give a little pep talk. That's right. I want to give a little pep talk. And when I say pep, I want to focus on three key elements I believe you need to achieve greatness. Three things that I need that are essential, I believe, that you need in order to achieve greatness and success. And that is preparation, execution, and patience. P.E.P. PEP. And the reason I want to focus on this is because I was having a conversation not too long ago, actually a couple of conversations about brand building and success and launching a business and some other things. And I was thinking about a lot of times we want what we want right now. We want it immediate. And that is because we are in this age of immediate gratification. And that's okay. But when it comes to being successful, when it comes to having greatness in life, when it comes to achieving certain goals, sometimes the best success happens when we put the work in, when we're patient, but when we are prepared and when we take action and execute. Learning a new skill, learning and being successful on a new digital and social media platform, getting promoted on your job, launching a business, all of these achievements, all of those goals can happen. But you need pep, you need preparation, you need execution, you need to have patience. Because if you don't, then you're probably not going to have the type of success that you deserve. It may not be as long lasting. You may not be best suited for that experience. You have to prepare. You have to understand what it's going to take to make it happen. You have to take action. You have to execute, and you must You must be patient. And when I think about this concept and this experience, this is very, very relevant to our generation. That is because we have the experience. We have the expertise. We have all of the preparation that we've gone through. We've taken action in our lives, but we also have to be patient. And this is very relevant to any generation, not just Gen Xers, but any generation. Any time that you go through things in life, it shapes you. It molds you. It gives you insight to new ideas, to new courses of action, to new opportunities. But you have to understand that you can't just have what you want when you want it and expect the same result. To get the most out of what you put in, to get the most of what you want out, you have to put it in. You have to put in the work. I think about a great analogy that I've used before, actually, in a speech I gave maybe 20 years ago. I was speaking to a group of young adults, and I was in my mid-20s. And I used this analogy then, and I've used it recently, as recent as yesterday, in a speech that I gave to to senior level managers about brand building and digital marketing and what have you. And the analogy is this: imagine yourself, and we all have the same experience when we're in the grocery store, right? And you're in that aisle with all the baking goods and the cake mix and the sugars and the flour and all of those ingredients. But you're in that aisle and you pass by like a Duncan Hines box or a Betty Crocker box, a cake box, basically cake mix. And you see that pretty picture on the front of the box, right? It's all fluffy and moist, yellow cake or devil's food, whatever you like best. I like them all, to be honest with you. But you see that nice, pretty picture, but you know you cannot have that cake without the bake. To get to that finished product, that finished cake, that pretty picture, you have to turn the box around. You have to look at the baking instructions and at the recipe. And you look and you have to understand and follow the recipe of what you need in order to bake that cake, whether it's water, the eggs, butter, pans. And that's life. That's success. That is greatness. You have to understand what is the recipe of success. What is the recipe of that particular goal that you want to achieve, whether it's long term or short term? When it comes to greatness, what are the ingredients that you need to get, that you need to mix up and stir it all up in a big fat bowl? What are those ingredients? That's the preparation. And then you have to execute. You have to mix it all together. You have to put that final mixture in an oven and turn up the heat. You have to go through some heat in life. 350 degrees of heat to get to that cake that you want to bake. Think about that. When it comes to your long-term goals, when it comes to achieving greatness, when it comes to being prepared, when it comes to success on your job, when it comes to success in your family, in your personal life, in your marriage, what are those ingredients that you need to put together and mix in a big fat bowl and get sweaty and hot and put it in some heat and wait 30 to 45 minutes, not 5 minutes, not microwaved? What is it going to take for you to get to that finished cake? You have to prepare and you have to execute and you have to have patience. And now we're talking about cakes. If you want homemade, you think about homemade cakes, it takes a little longer. Trust me. I was talking about the Duncan Hines, but every holiday, my family, we have a staple dessert called 7-Up pound cake. And for those of you who not familiar what that is, it's basically pound cake made with 7-Up. It's like a splash of 7-Up and it gives it a certain taste and it's good. It's probably one of the most requested desserts in my family, and I make it, and I got it from my mom, and it's like a family staple. But anyway, when you're making a homemade cake, whether it's 7-Up or upside down or German chocolate, whatever you prefer, It takes a little more ingredients that you may see on the back of that Duncan Hines box. And it takes more preparation. It takes more intuition. It takes more time. It takes more patience. You have to add maybe more sugar, more flour. Think about that. And even the flour, most of the time when you're making a homemade cake, you have to put it in a sifter. The flour, you have to sift through the packed flour and sort out and lighten the load. That's what you have to do in life to get success, to be successful. You have to sift through some of the challenges that you have gone through. You have to sift through some of the conversations that have been flowing to you in your ears and sort through whether it's good or productive or invaluable or unproductive or counterproductive. You have to sift through all of the experiences and the things that you have gone through to understand if this is the right path that you must take in order to achieve that greatness. You have to mix it all together. You have to prepare and bake that cake. And that's what we must do as Gen Xers. We must do as millennials. We must do as boomers, or whoever is listening in. You have to understand that greatness does not come from an overnight execution or an overnight opportunity. Greatness comes from preparation. Greatness comes from execution. Greatness comes from patience. And that's essentially is something that I feel must be underscored in this age of immediate gratification, in this age where we all want things in life when we want them. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to put in the right ingredients of patience, of preparation, of taking action, of developing relationships, of treating people right, of using these new digital tools that you may not be that familiar with. You may not be that comfortable with at first, but you can learn. You can learn to see what tool, what content platform, what social media platform is best for you to achieve your goals and to tell your story and to create that impact that you should be creating as leaders in this marketplace. You cannot have that delicious cake of greatness without spending time in the kitchen and turning up some heat. So go out there, understand that you are unique, understand that you do have passions, understand that you do have experiences in life, that you have opportunities, that you have a story to tell. But you just have to put the work in. You have to prepare, you have to take action and execute, and you have to be patient. Then no matter who you are, whether you are a mid-level manager, entry level, senior level, C-suite, entrepreneur, Gen Xer, millennial, boomer, whoever, greatness will be yours. So let's do it. Put in the work, put in the preparation, put in the execution, put in the patience, put some pep in your step, and you too will be great. Okay, that was another one, another solo episode, another moment where it's just you and I hanging out. Episode number 30. Remember, success does not come overnight. Greatness does not come overnight. You have to be prepared. You have to execute. You have to be patient. You have to put some pep in your step. That was my little pep talk today. That was my pep episode. And remember, this episode was much shorter than our typical interview-based shows with our great, exceptional featured guests, but the goal was still the same: to provide value to you, to motivate you and empower you. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please go over to iTunes and give us a rating and review. And more importantly, actually share this episode with your friends, with your family, your colleagues, on social media, email, spread the word, snail mail, all of that. It helps us out a lot. It helps us really amplify and spread the word about the show so we can empower more people like you. So if you want to get the show notes, go over to genxamplified.com/030 and you can get the show notes. And also while you're there in the show notes, I have a new, and it's not new, but it's a free PDF that I put together for you titled, 10 Tools Every Entrepreneur Needs in This New Media Marketplace. So if you're thinking about starting a business right now, or you're trying to grow your current business, check out this resource I put together. It's basically 10 tools that I listed that I practically use to help grow my business. And it's something that you really need to think about in this mobile, social, and digital world. And definitely do that. And check out the previous episode, 29, if you haven't already, my chat with Brian Solis, as we talked about his book, X, The Experience When Business Meets Design. That was a fascinating and awesome chat. So that's going to do it for this episode. And as always, my Gen Xers, remember, go out, build your brand, tell your story, and maximize your impact in business and life. Thanks, and all the best to your success. Take care.